Are you tired of all the negative noise, frustrated by being locked down, and even overwhelmed by everything going on in the world right now due to this pandemic? Well, today, I'm going to share with you 7 tips to help strengthen you during the pandemic.
I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom. You don't want the truth. You have that luxury.
Hey guys, Dr. B here, and thank you for joining me for another session of Truth Time, where we seek to bring you truth from a biblical and conscious perspective to help you grow in God and apply His Word to the world around you. Very quick before we begin, if it's your first time here on my channel, welcome to BAME TV. Please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you won't miss any of our next videos. And to all my returning subscribers, welcome back and thank you so much for your continued support. So let's get into it today. In a world that is rapidly changing, people are finding themselves sluggish, frustrated, and even depleted spiritually due to the consistent bombardment of negative noise, energy, and information. People are working out and eating healthy to stay fit physically, and that's great. But how can you remain strong mentally and strengthen yourself spiritually against all the attacks coming at your mind and your heart? Isaiah 40, verse 29 says, God gives power to the weak, and to those who have no might, He increases strength. So here are 7 tips to help strengthen you during this pandemic. Now, I'm not prescribing some cure-all formula that's going to work for everyone. However, these helpful strategies are some of my favorite foundational principles from my personal development journey that I've used for years to maintain a consistent and progressively growing spiritual life with God. And I'm sharing them with you today because I believe they will help you as well. And if you stay around until the end of this video, I have a bonus tip for you. Okay, let's go. Tip number 1, pray. Now, I know this should be obvious, and for some of you, you're probably saying, really? That's the best that you've got? Hold on a minute now. Don't tune me out. I'm not just talking about your regular times of prayer that you spend with God. I'm talking about speaking to God throughout your day to develop a praying spirit, using prayer as a continual method of communication and communion with God, which is healthy for developing an ongoing relationship. This is what the Bible refers to as praying without ceasing. Let prayer become habit-forming in your life. Talk to God consistently throughout the day. Commune with Him and let Him know what you're going through and what's happening so He can speak back to you and give you the strength and the answers that you need. Which brings me to tip number 2. Develop a routine. A routine is so important and essential because it keeps us organized, structured, and efficient during our day and our time at home. A routine also helps us remain focused on what we need to accomplish, especially when interruptions or distractions arise. I've often said, especially to my leaders, that everyone needs to have a calendar and keep a schedule, especially if you're going to produce results and be able to measure those results. Having a routine helps you do just that. Tip number 3, read. If you find yourself idle and with hours of free time, instead of zoning out and letting your mind just wander, you can keep your mind sharp and engaged by reading a good book. Of course, my favorite book to read is the Bible, and I can spend hours in the scriptures. I suggest you ensure it too is at the top of your reading list as well. There's no better tool in my arsenal for gaining strength. But additionally, I do like to read help books to learn something, to develop a new skill, or to learn something I don't know. I enjoy reading the newspaper over watching the news. Tech manuals are another of my favorites. And don't forget about a fun publication to just laugh and lighten up the mood. Keep books handy and plan reading time as part of your routine, as covered in tip number 2. What's your favorite book to read? Let me know in the comments below. Which brings me to my next and what's probably going to be the most challenging tip for many of you yet, and that is tip number 4, unplug. I had to pause for a minute because I know some of y'all says, oh my God, what? Really? I got to turn off my little devicey? Yes, I know for some of you, it's a hard one. But during this pandemic, if you're going to strengthen your faith, renew your mind, and refresh your mental state, you must have times when you turn off the computer, the cell phone, and social media. I believe this tip is not optional, but vitally mandatory in maintaining a healthy mind and balanced spiritual life. You cannot take on all the negative and frivolous information coming from those devices constantly and expect to remain strengthened and encouraged. And if you're not careful, the noise coming from them will drain your energy, promote fear to disturb your peace, and sap your joy. Here's something you can do instead. Take a break, which brings me to tip number 5. Take a break. Take a break from consuming the fake news, hanging out on social media, and being around negative people. Not only do you waste a lot of time being unproductive in these activities, a lot of what you hear and read doesn't offer much hope, nor does it add anything to your peace. Instead, take a walk. Get some fresh air. Yes, go outside. The great outdoors is waiting for you. And just relax and breathe. Feels good, doesn't it? To just breathe. My wife and I love sitting out on the patio for hours each day, when it's not too hot, of course, and enjoying the cool breeze, watching the birds and the other wildlife around the house, and just talking and reflecting. We also sleep so much better after a few hours breathing in that fresh air, which leads me to tip number 6. Do something fun. When was the last time you had fun? Think about it. It amazes me that people today don't seem to have a lot of hobbies or things they enjoy doing if it's not connected to some electronic device. I know many young people don't know much about a world before electronics, but what happened to the days when people's creative ability to entertain themselves was limitless? Before these devices were around, we came up with innovative ways to play and enjoy ourselves. Don't let what's happening today keep you stuck in the house thinking you can do nothing. If you are restricted from traveling physically, use your front or backyard as a playground or as a getaway place. Play a board game with your family and your friends, or do some gardening, but get outdoors. If you like being indoors and you like cooking and doing things around the house, order that meal from your favorite restaurant, or have a cheap meal. Cook something at home for you and your family. But find ways to enjoy life as a reminder that there's still much more to living than the pandemic is presenting. If you need some ideas, hit me up and I'll help you find some things to do. And finally, tip number 7, rest and sleep. This is one that I am relearning. One thing I look forward to nowadays is taking a nap. I know you might be saying, I don't have time, I'm too busy. For years, I used that same excuse, and I was just like you. I was not a fan of naps, and my brain paid a heavy price for it. Now I find them so refreshing, and they help me be more productive during my workday. And I can tell when I need one, and when I miss one, my body let me know. Then after you've had your nap for the day, you've done your work, then get into the bed at a decent hour and sleep. Turn off the cell phone and the tablet at least 30 minutes to an hour before going to bed. No cell phones or televisions in the bedroom. No bright lights. No cell phone or TV bright lights prior to sleep time. Studies show that lights wake the brain back up when it's trying to shut down. So a nap, along with a full night's sleep, can help the body rest, recharge, and rebuild. Well, some of you have stayed here with me until the end. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And because you did, I have a bonus tip for you coming up. But before I give you that, here's a question for you. What is your best tip so far? Tell me down below in the comments, okay? Here is bonus tip. Get social. Wait a minute. I know you said he told us to turn off social media. Now he's saying get social. Hold on. Humans are social beings by design. I'm not talking about electronic socialism. We're made for connection. During this time of physical separation, don't neglect to keep in touch with those you have contact with, such as your family, your friends, your loved ones, those close to you. Consider having them over for some food, fun, and some fellowship. Technology shouldn't become the new social norm. Connection was meant to be. With many churches remaining closed and maintaining social distance, it's very difficult to get much personal contact today. And to complicate things further, the fear many have in regathering is going to change the dynamic of true body ministry. So I'm encouraging you to start that home fellowship, that Bible study group, or that coffee meetup time. People all around us are hurting. They're lost, confused, and bewildered, and in need of your touch more now than ever before. So go social, go socialize, and be social. Wow. That was a lot, and I know I brought a lot at you. I hope you've enjoyed learning these 7 tips to help strengthen you during the pandemic. And I hope that you're going to take some time to review them again and often. Amen. If this video was helpful to you and you haven't already, would you subscribe to the channel? Then share this video out for your family and friends to enjoy as well, and ask them to subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment down below with any thoughts or suggestions for more content that you'll like to see. And check out these next videos for more truth. Thanks for watching today, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep walking in truth. Shalom.